Welcome to a legit guide for Nova, the fucking bomb. Holy shit, I love this fucking character. This is the frame that everyone wants on their team, but everyone also dreads the fucking most, because if you don't know which version to bring, you either fuck everyone up hard, or you carry the mission all by yourself. Well, being the troll-ass fucking dick that I am, we naturally know what I'm going to do. Nova is one of the best supports in the game. Her kit is just so well made and works together in such a way that everything flows together. Her power is basically to turn everything into a fucking bomb. Enemies, bombs. Her abilities, bombs. Her pet, bomb. Her house, bomb. Her existence, bomb. Nova is made to debuff enemies and allow herself and her team to just Nagasaki the whole fucking map. Her passive makes her drop Neutron Star whenever she gets knocked down. The star damages enemy and knocks them down as well. This passive is really weird and doesn't really have much use since you actively need to CC yourself in order to use it, and the benefit is just not beneficial. Her first ability is Null Star. Nova creates antimatter particles that orbit her. The particles seek enemies and damage them. Each particle adds 5% damage reduction. The more duration you have, the more particles you get, up to 6 extra. The damage on this ability is like fine, whatever, I don't care. The selling point is the fucking DR, since with enough duration it adds up to 15 particles, which is 75% DR. That is a lot. This makes Nova a very tanky and durable frame, which allows her to hold her own in places like the Steel Path, where she is very useful. It's just a very good survivability tool. Her tool is Antimatter Drop. Nova creates an orb. This orb will absorb all damage that hits it, and it will add to the total damage. Once the orb hits a surface, it will explode and deal what we call the big damage, since it releases all the damage to orb stored. Even though Nova is not a DPS frame, this ability gives her that option. It's honestly fucking insane how much damage this deals, which is why a lot of people run her with high damage weapons in order to scale the damage even harder. Generally, you'd want to hit this on a large group of enemies so you can take them out, and by the time a new group comes, you already charge a new orb. What's also great about this is that the strength doesn't matter too much in this ability, so no matter which build you're on, this ability will still erase these fucking mortals from existence. Her third ability is Wormhole. Nova creates a wormhole in front of her with a gate. Walking through the gate will teleport Nova to the end of the hole. The range is based on your range mods. This ability is okay. It's not something that Nova really needs these days, since bullet jumping exists, and in open worlds we now use Arcwing, so this is basically her subsume slot. You can put a bunch of stuff here. My favorite thing to put here is Pillage for the bonus shields and armor strip, so she can help support better. It's kind of like the Mesa Pillage combo, because Mesa can use Pillage and her 3 together to become super tanky. We're essentially doing the same, but with the DR from Nova's first ability. For being one of the best frames in the game, it's like all of her abilities can be explained in like 2 sentences. Her ult is Molecular Prime. Nova unleashes the Blast. Whoa, what the fuck was that? Umbra? Weird. She primes all the enemies with antimatter, which causes them to slow down, and they become vulnerable to damage by 100%. Enemies killed or affected explode, dealing additional damage. The slow is affected by your ability strength, which means that if you go below 100%, it will actually speed enemies up, which is something that is very useful for farms in the game and for killing your own teammates. This ability is what brings together Nova's kit. The damage vulnerability makes it so the rest of their abilities deal a lot more damage, and also buffs her entire team, because now even that one guy that is like MR4 and got taxed in by his friend is able to deal damage. Having the extra blast also helps with making the whole map into a fucking war zone. Now let's talk about the slow and speed effect. The slow is the safest option and what you will be using the most. It makes every mission easier to handle, and it completely trivializes Steel Path missions and keeps Nova alive despite being a squishy frame. Being able to slow all the enemies in a massive AoE is a very strong ability, which is why Nova is one of the best frames in the game. Now fast Nova functions completely the opposite way. She actually empowers the enemies. The reason that we use her is to rush missions by making the enemies get faster to you, like defense missions. That's why you want to have a team that can actually DPS so that you get this done quickly, and so no one dies because you can't handle the enemies. It's mostly used for leveling and farming. The augment for this ability, Molecular Fusion, helps you with energy and survivability. It's also pretty convenient since for every enemy that you kill that is primed, you will receive a particle back for your one.
Hell no! There is no salvation for your crime. Hell to the no! To the no, 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 no! To the no, 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 no! Hell to the no, no! To the no!
Ha! Get fucked, bitch. I fucking win. Honestly, Nova is one of the best all-purpose frames in the game. She is very good at any stage of the game and is always welcome in every single team comp. You generally use her in order to support the team with her 4 and then just DPS with her 2. Fast Nova is mostly used when you just want to rush missions, but be careful when going into places like the Steel Path because you can end up killing your own teammates accidentally on purpose. These are our builds. Since all of our builds scale off duration, we want as much as possible, and since this is the slow build, we go with some strength too. Fast Nova is almost the same except that we go with negative strength. This frame is just so much fun. Having the ability to just make the whole map a fucking nuke is just so satisfying. And the fact that she's such a good frame and you can play her anywhere makes her one of my personal favorites and a very loved and popular frame. I recommend to any new player to get her. She will be very helpful to you until you get her prime. The way her ult can change also makes her fit into any situation and brings her up to high level where she is even more relevant. It feels like you're just in control of all these little ants and you can just crush them whenever you want. You know, I've been wondering.
Good morning. So when are we making the Nova guide?
Oh, I just finished with that. Anyway, I'm just trying to do something here. I've had this idea for a while. This seems like it'll be fun.
No, don't.